What's up, Bueller Buys? Welcome, everybody. So today I just wanted to go through a couple things from my channel today. So we went through an Apple Lotto swing we had a Maro Lotto day trade at open. We had a Nike day trade. I pointed out some other charts, so I just wanted to go through it all in a small little video if I could. Hopefully this is under 7 or 8 minutes or so. But let me just run through it real quick. So to start the day off, we had the pre-market stream. I covered a big list, not big, but a list of tickers that we were looking at. We covered a couple other things like Nike, Square, Home Depot, Caterpillar, John Deere, a few other things that people requested as well, like AMD, Neo. You can see all my entries and stuff in here, which we're going to go through. But we posted the list and all that good stuff. Showing everyone the schedule just to remind everyone, hey, no Discord stream. We're just going to do some alerts. And today at open, and this is why I say this, we don't trade the first 10 minutes of any day. And if we do, it's going to be a lotto signal, just because the first 10 minutes is the most indecisive part of the day. So you just want to avoid trading that. Normally you kind of let that open, give yourself a little breather at open, and then take a trade from that move. But as you can see, we took calls right at open. It actually went against us at first, which I'll cover and everything. But I just wanted to roll through my channel first and then cover all the charts. But as you can see, pointed out that we were entering calls, hoping it would stay above 2060s. I was going to cut it if it closed under 2060s, but overall the market started kind of holding and nothing really broke further, so I just kind of ended up holding it as a signal. Even though my preferred level had broken, ended up doing really well for us. I'll go over that as well. We also played Nike, same week, 136 calls at 128. We ended up getting in those on a 3-bar play as it was breaking the 134.35 level. That's the 2-day ago high. It's also a historical level. It's not just from there. Pointed out different moves on that. We pointed out HD as it's breaking 303, 302.75. Also watching Square above the previous day high, today's high, but it's also a historical level, and we'll cover that as well. What else do we have here? The Apple Lotto swing that we ended up taking at 0.50 to I think about 0.70, so $20 per contract. This is where I ended up taking most of my profits though, just because we did start off red on that. It was green to red, back to green, so I was just going to take it there and focus on a couple other things. You see our updated Square, a few other things. You can see my channel is definitely updated. The bot ended up posting a few other things as well. Updating the Piton swing. Got that a while back on a few things. And then again, pointing out AAL, just because we did post this on the Mustache bot. I ended up posting it the other day for a short swing, actually, for a short swing idea, hoping to see it at 18. Ended up holding 18, as you can see here at 1850s. Ended up moving from there, and I said, all right, well, it's invalidated as long as the previous day open is broken. So if it pops 1890, it's pretty much invalidated. Look to get into longs if it can break over 1910, that previous day high. Ended up doing every single bit of that too. We updated it saying above 1910, watch it for potential. You can see they had themselves a day, just like most of the market did at first. But let's get into the... Oh, we also have this too. So you can see my signals on Nike. We had the Nike intraday levels posted before market. We also talked about SPY, but we're going to talk about that here. So today in the stream, as well as on my alerts, today we were basically pointing out that today's main level to look out for after the first 10 minutes was today's open. We ended up opening, resetting, so just kind of doing nothing really at open for the first 10 minutes. As long as we held that level, it was looking good for calls to at least here. If we can get above this level here, that gives us more passive confirmation that longs are going to look a lot better. So at least this next area of levels here, and you can see we got one slowdown here, a second, and you can see we got a lot of smaller, more indecisive trading here, but it did continue all the way up to about the 444s, and now we've just kind of been range trading there for the rest of the day. But let's go through a couple of the signals. So Mara, we were mainly in because it was, I kind of just liked where crypto was. The other day in my chat, and I posted this on the other pre-market stream as well, crypto, if you go to Bitcoin, they were kind of holding a similar trend line on higher lows. So I was going and looking for just crypto plays that I thought were cheap and liquid. Mara is cheap and liquid. And you could say they also have kind of a buy reaction popping up. Nothing amazing. Get off my screen. So we had Mara. Let's go to the smaller time frame and we'll talk about what we saw. So it ended up breaking this, which was a no-no. But I ended up holding it because it was the first 10 minutes. You can see my signal was before it broke this, so this was a no-no for us to try and hold. We were red, I think, about 15% at first, and then price ended up bouncing with the bullish engulfing, end up pushing over the 9 EMA with rising volume. So this is a good sign, but no super strong confirmation yet, but amazing indication that bulls are still present. And this brought our position back to slightly green, just because we did enter in the middle of this. You can see opening price right here is kind of what we were focused on. This is one of the main pivot points to look at, and you can see we broke over that with this indecisive candle. What do we wait for after an indecisive candle? Information. What was that next piece of information? A rising volume candle with actually the most volume in the day ended up pushing higher, showing that bulls were definitely present. So we were looking good to at least this target, possibly even the 2170s. You can see they did just that, ended up pushing, and our play went for over 44%. Pretty insane. So very nice on the Mara play. Apple, we'll just cover that lotto swing. Basically, why I entered the lotto swing for chat and why it was a lotto is because, one, it's not in a good area. Normally, this is in a downtrend. We're not playing calls all the time on this, but I like that we were a bit oversold, low volume. This candle represented kind of just something that might chill. I also really liked NASDAQ. If you go to NASDAQ and you mark the low of this move to the high, we were actually sitting perfectly on the golden pocket. So again, just kind of a high probability area for at least a buy reaction. We're not saying it's going to go up to 100, back up to the skies, 300 or whatever. We're just saying for a short term, it might possibly just have some relief buying pop up, so just that's why it was a lotto, very risky area. So that's kind of the reason we took that swing. We kind of entered it during this candle breaking out above this kind of this resistance right here. And then you can see we opened lower, or we opened a little bit higher than that. Closed under. In the first 10 minutes, we ended up not breaking that previous day low, so I said, you know what, we'll just hold it. It's a lotto anyway. Ended up going to like 0.40, 0.30 here, so big red on the position, but it's a lotto again. Ended up pushing higher, and we ended up closing it for over 15 to 20% as it was pushing over these levels here as the market was rallying. So that was a really cool sign, seeing that the golden pocket worked for a good overnight swing on NASDAQ, playing Apple the heaviest weight in the market. Nvidia was also another one a lot of my friends played. But let's go look at the Nike day trade. So the Nike day trade, I was looking over 134.35, the 2-day ago high. If you go to this level on the bigger time frame, and this is why I like the TA routine. See how far back I can go and use these levels. So where's 134.35? There it is. So 134.35. It was a good resistance, turned support, kind of just a good in-between level. It looks like I didn't like the big amount of range here. Yeah, this is what I did. Okay. I was just grabbing the halfway point of that range, but it ended up being super useful, clearly. But as you can see, after it broke above the 2-day ago high here, ended up holding on top of it as well and moving higher. So we entered at 128 as it was pushing here. Very risky 40% entry, but as long as we see this level hold here, we're basically in, and we set stop loss there, and you can have a loose stop loss here if you really wanted to set it loose. And as you can see, neither of those closed under. It did close under the 9 with rising volume, but not really good volume relatively, because overall, if it broke over that white line, then it would be okay, some different average volume, but it really wasn't even that. So price ended up continuing up higher, and you can see they ended up pushing even higher than that. I think the contracts are over 1.70 now, 1.60, somewhere in there. But we ended up closing at 20% about. So good job on anybody who took that with us. And then, of course, American Airlines, like we talked about on the swing bot, or Moustache bot, sorry, it's not just the swing bot anymore. They ended up pushing over that previous day high, our short swing that we were looking at, because it did look good for a short swing down to the 9 EMA with this evening star. Very risky because we didn't close under the 9. So again, as I pointed out the other day, very risky. But after that, they ended up pushing over the previous day open, showing that buyers were present. They came back down, held that open, showing that they were definitely present, showing that they want to try and give us a chance to push an open range breakout, giving us a new high. And they pushed that new high, held the reset candle, ended up pushing higher throughout with rising volume throughout the different pushes up. So very nice move on AAL. And then a couple other side charts we looked at were Square. I was mainly looking at, I'll remove that and show you how I got that. But we were looking at this level here at 121.20s. You can see the first 10 minutes very indecisive. 10 minutes after that, even more indecisive. And we end up getting a push with rising volume, the most volume in the day over that level. So really big for the bulls. They ended up taking it higher. So very nice to see. And if you go from the breakout to the first slowdown, which we marked this live in chat, they ended up holding the 50% control point. Again, just a fancy way of saying halfway point, and we marked it from the first breakout to the first slowdown. So you can see they held that and pushed higher up to that level, giving you good short-term confirmation and midterm confirmation for intraday trading. And then the last chart that I was kind of big on this morning was Home Depot. You can see I don't have all my levels marked. Previous day low, previous day high, all that good stuff. But the main level we were looking at was 302.75. And you can see after they pushed above that here, after 20 minutes, with pretty decent volume, not rising candle to candle, but still pretty decent volume, they ended up holding it for 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35 minutes. Kind of a bullish rectangle here. And pushed out with rising volume. You got a slight accumulation of volume from candle to candle here. They end up holding on top of that same little rectangle right there, a higher low. And they end up continuing on with the 9 EMA. So really, really good push. Almost $5 move from Home Depot. So a lot of really cool different tickers that we're not all used to playing. I normally play Nvidia, Apple, Tesla, but today we played Home Depot, Nike, Mara, American Airlines. So we were really posting as much of the smaller tickers as we possibly could. So please leave a like on this video, and I'll see you guys on the next one.